So after reading A Brief History of Misogyny by Jack Holland, I got into, this book back here. Too many books piled up, clearly. Raising Strong Daughters by Mike Adamick. And I thought, this would be a good one, like a good parenting book to teach me, to give me some tips on raising strong daughters. And honestly, it totally fooled me. What this book really is, it's like an anti-misogyny book. Because most of what it is telling men they're stupid and you need to stop it in general, because we treat women terribly. And I loved it. Every minute of it was excellent. So let's dive in. So one of the core themes that happened throughout the book was that one of the worst things for a man to be is feminine. We actually saw this in Boys and Sex as well by Peggy Orenstein, where she talked about the locker talk, and it's all about dominating women and not being feminine. Showing your masculinity through domination is your language you use, especially when it comes to sex in that book. And Adamick talked about, again, very similar ideas that, we call boys pussies, as this is like the worst thing you could be is feminine, right? And you're equating a woman with this vile thing that a man or a boy would not want to be. I honestly, I'm going to be baffled by a lot of this. And knowing that I did some of it, and I have worked very hard over the last number of years to not do it anymore, but just seeing that language that we equate women, I actually had to even stop watching The Boys because I couldn't stand the continued vulgar language, specifically equating the men that weren't, manning up with being female anatomy. And it's just, I couldn't do it anymore, regardless of the blood and the other stuff in that series. That was just, I couldn't listen to that anymore because it is vile. Another interesting point Adamick made is that from birth, patriarchy acts violently to boys by having to cut off part of their emotions. He says that in page 16. Basically, the only emotion a boy can have, a man can have, is to be aggressive, violent, or stoic. That's it. You cannot be being soft, being, I guess, more feminine emotions is a terrible thing, and you will get mocked for it just brutally. Another topic he came at that I kind of grouped into clothes and shows is that we show the gender traditions we have for boys and girls in the clothing that we make available for them. So Adamick actually says that you should go stand in the boys' aisle and the girls' aisles and look around at the clothes, and what you'll see for the boys is lots of heroes, lots of predators, lots of things that lead towards domination, lead towards I'm the hero, I'm the active thing. And if you look at the girls, it's all nurturing, it's passive. Even their dinosaurs have little pretty pink bows. And I've absolutely seen this. My daughter says she wants to be a paleontologist, and we often actually purchase teenage shirts, and my wife cuts them down to be her size because she can do that. But that implies right from the beginning that women are nurturing, boys are adventurous, and that boys are the predators and women are the prey. And again, it sucks. In shows we see this, right? We think of Kim Possible as one that I looked at, and why on earth does Kim Possible need to show off her stomach, right? It also reminded me of 2 YouTube videos, which I'll link around, that show female armor, and you're why is the men's armor full coverage and the women's is a bra? Why? That's not okay in video games. Why do we allow this to happen, and why do we continue to support this, right? We're showing our girls, our women, that they are there for their bodies, for their visual appeal, for men, which is mostly for men, not for anything else. He even brought up some interesting stats about movies. When a man is the lead character, they are on screen, 2 times as much as women. When a female is the lead character, it's 50-50. And then if you look at background scenes, you see that it's only 18% female when the world is 50-50-ish, right? Pretty close to that. And so we're showing that women are less in the world and men are more in the world. Just by that little bit in our media, right? Why are all the, women's cartoon heroes, these super slim waists and often big boobs? That's not what regular women look like most of the time. And that's what we show as the ideal right from the beginning. All right, so take 2, because I somehow picked up someone's radio or something. Their call sign. We're talking about is that our actions show, this is another big thing that he brought up, that our actions show that we don't care about misogyny. Specifically, he brought up Donald Trump, and Donald Trump, who was very vocal that it was okay if you're a celebrity to grab women and physically assault them, sexually assault them because you were a celebrity and they just let you. And voting for him votes that that's okay. That's not a big enough issue to worry about. And I think this is how we see that we dress it up better, dress up misogyny a little prettier than they do in other places. So when I looked at the Underground Girls of Kabul, that's what I came away saying, that we just dress up misogyny better than places like Afghanistan. It's not as in your face. We let women go out, but we still treat them like lesser people on a regular basis, right? Even with the most recent election where, a lot of people, millions of people voted for him, a known sexist, misogynist, racist person shows that none of those things matter. Another big point was the background noise of female existence is misogyny. Much like the background noise of existence right now is to do with virus and the pandemic, the background noise of being a woman is to worry that your dress is going to invite, in air quotes, some man to make a comment that, oh, they're just appreciating you, honey. My wife has even seen this on a run where she passed 3 men, and one of them said something, oh, I wish those were tighter so I could see through them, of her running tights. And her friend just left, and they didn't run there again for a while because they were scared. And she said one man looked awkward and looked like another time they saw one of the other men wanted to say something, but he didn't. And that's appalling. That's what it is. That's not what we say, not how we should be treating women. They are not there for men's gaze, for the male gaze. And that's really what women live with on a regular basis. They worry about walking down the street and will their clothing invite something. What will men say to them about anything, about occupying too much space, about whatever, and that they must navigate navigate dealing with men so that they do not get physically hurt or verbally assaulted by a man just because they are a woman. Now, I guess the big question here is, what do we do? What does Adamick suggest we do? Now, he says we don't need to be the saviors. We don't need to rush in and save everything. What we do need to do is when we see a man saying something, we need to say, hey, that's verbal assault. And we need to call it out like that. We say, oh, it's just no, it's not appreciating. It is verbal assault. And we need to just be decent humans to other humans, right? Would you tell a man, hey, you look really sexy in that? Well, probably not. Then why would you say that to a woman? It's not okay, right? If you wouldn't tell, I've heard actually from another place, if you wouldn't say that to The Rock, then you just wouldn't say it, right? So some huge physically intimidating man, if you wouldn't say it to them, you just shouldn't say it to a woman at all. I've even questioned that too. I saw a lady, she had a really nice coat that I really liked, very similar to the Patagonia, some of their old school coats. So I said, hey, your coat is really nice. I really like it. I've wanted one like that for a long time. And she said, oh, thank you, and told me where, and that was fine. But I thought about it later, did I overstep anything there? Did I make her feel uncomfortable in that? And I don't know. And if I don't know, or if I am hesitant, I need to maybe not say it, or run it by my wife first, ask again about this, because I don't want to perpetuate that women need to be worried about how men take up space. And I've been very conscious, even running actually now, after this book, when I see women coming up, I try to be the one that stops and steps off the trail to let them by. Instead of, me just running through. And I never did it because I was a man. I don't think I did anyways. But just being conscious about that and how I treat them and how I make sure that I try to make it obvious that I am stopping and that they can have the space and I am stepping back out of the space. Final question. Should you read Raising Empowered Daughters by Mike Adamick? Yep, yeah, that's it. Yes, you should. Yeah, you should. Any man should read this, whether or not you have daughters. Any man who cares about women, who says they care about women, needs to, because it's easy to say you care about women and then have a lot of the language that you've grown up with, and you don't mean to. I don't mean to, but a lot of the language you grew up with and the beliefs you have are just misogynistic. I'd even think my wife did not want to change her last name when we got married, and I felt annoyed, but that did not feel okay to me. And I regret that decision that I pushed on it. I wish I hadn't, and I wish we had come up with something else, or wish she just got to keep her name. We've talked about it since then, and I've said, hey, why don't you change it back? And she doesn't want to do that. But I wish I didn't do that now. That's it. If you like the video, thumbs up below, or you can subscribe, hit the bell. YouTube might let you know what's happening, but it's YouTube, who knows. Other ways to support the channel is to go to curtismchale.ca/Skillshare, take my course on time blocking that just came out, or take my course on TickTick. You can also go to patreon.com/CurtisMcHale, support the channel. Have a good one.